Hi guys, welcome to today's video. This one's going to be over rotations, and we have 7 problems to do for homework. So remember, there are 3 different rules for rotations. You have 90 degrees clockwise, 90 degrees counterclockwise, and 180 degrees clockwise. Now we're going to do some graphing and some where we have to figure out which transformation occurred. Okay, so number 16, 4th academic, we did this one in class, but this is a 180 degree rotation. So the original pre-image is right here. H, the coordinates are -4 and 0. And the important thing to remember for 180 degree rotations is that the X and Y, the coordinates do not switch places. So they stay in the same spot, but the thing that does happen is that the coordinates change from positive to negative, or negative to positive. So the signs change. So this -4 became a +4. 0 is special, it just stays 0. So -4, 0 was the pre-image. After a 180 degree rotation all the way over here, it became +4, 0. Okay? So I did the coordinates first and then I graphed it. But you can see that it made a 180 degree rotation. This is like a straight line. So, okay, number 17. Write a rule to describe each transformation. So what I like to do here is to look at one letter. So like here you have a K and a K prime, an M that goes with an M prime, and the L goes with the L prime. By looking at just one letter, it helps you to kind of visualize what's happening in the whatever transformation. So I'm just going to choose to look at L. So here's the pre-image. This is the pre. And then here's the image. That's the new one. So you can see that it went from this side of the graph to this side. Okay. So to me this looks like a 180 degree rotation because remember I said that each square, like each quadrant that it moves is 90 degrees. So this one went from this quadrant passed all the way over this quadrant, so it has to be more than 90 degrees. And then all the way into a second quadrant. So it went 2 quadrants away, and that's usually a 90 degree or a 180 degree rotation. But we can look at the coordinates of it and make sure. So here's 0. The coordinates of the pre-image are -3, +1. And the coordinates of the image are +3, -1. Okay. Now you can really see that a 180 degree rotation occurred because the rule for 180 degree rotations is that both signs for both numbers change. And so this -3 became a +3, and this +1 became a -1. So it's definitely a 180 degree rotation. Okay? Good. So 17 is C. All right, for 18, same thing. We're going to pick one letter to look at. It doesn't matter which one. I'll just pick F. So there's F prime, that's the image. And then F, this is the pre-image down here. All right, so it looks like it went from this quadrant down here and it only went 1 quadrant away. So like on the last one, it moved 2 quadrants. On number 18, it only moves 1 quadrant. It just goes to the next quadrant. So it's probably going to be 90 degrees, but let's see. Okay, so the coordinates of F are +3, -1. And the coordinates of F prime are +1, +3. So you can see that the X and Y switched places, and then the one on the left side became positive. So that is a 90 degrees counterclockwise rotation. When they switch places and the one on the left changes, that's counterclockwise. And you can also see it on the graph. Like if you just look at the whole shape, it went this way, okay, 90 degrees. And when it goes this way, that's counterclockwise. Because guys, remember the clock moves to the right in a circle. This went counterclockwise. So that's a 90-degree counterclockwise rotation. So that matches with answer choice B. Okay, so that was 16, 17, and 18. Now the back page, 31 through 34. Okay, so for 31, it says a rotation 270 degrees clockwise about the origin. Remember the trick I told you guys, we're not doing 270, but 270 is the exact same rule as 90 counterclockwise. So go cross out the clockwise, put counterclockwise, cross out 270 and put 90. They're the same thing, but the rule that we learned was 90. So whenever you see 270, put 2 X's. Change the 270 to a 90, change clockwise to counterclockwise. And if it says counterclockwise, change it to clockwise. Okay, 31. Rotation 90 degrees counterclockwise. I'm not sure why this is here, this arrow. Okay, so for this one we're just doing 1 point, and it's point Y, and that is -1, +5. Okay, for a 90 degrees counterclockwise rotation. Now, counterclockwise on the graph is this way, so it's going to probably be somewhere down here. But the rule for a 90 degrees counterclockwise rotation is that the X and Y swap places, so the 5 will go first and the -1 will go second, and then the 1 on the left will change sign, so the 5 here will become negative. The way that I like to remember that is that I think about counterclockwise, and here's my clock, right? 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, I think of my clock, and then I think clockwise is going to the right. So when it's a 90 degrees clockwise rotation, I change the sign on the right. But this one is counterclockwise. So when it's counterclockwise, I think, okay, counterclockwise is left. So that means I have to change the sign of the one on the left. And that is -5 from +5. So that is choice C. -5, -1. Okay. Number 32. 90 degrees clockwise rotation. So here I'm going to put a little right arrow, reminding me that after I swap the coordinates, X and Y, that I'm going to change the sign of the one on the right, 90 degrees clockwise. So we have R, S, T, and U. Okay. If it helps, guys, stop here and put the numbers on your graph. If that helps you. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So for point R, my X coordinate is 2. My Y coordinate is 0. For S, my X coordinate is 0. My Y coordinate is 4. For T, my X coordinate is -3. My Y coordinate is +4. For U, my X coordinate is -3. My Y coordinate is 1. Okay. Now let's do a 90 degree clockwise rotation. So for a 90 degree clockwise rotation, the ordered pair, the X and Y, switch places. So I'll switch them first, and then change the sign of the one on the right hand side. So 0, -2 will be R prime. Let's look and see if there's anything we can eliminate. So R is supposed to be 0, -2. Okay, that one says 0, -2. That one says 0, 0, so we can cross out B. That one says 0, 2, so we can cross out C. This one says -2, 0, so we can cross out D. So I guess the answer is A. Let's finish the rest of the coordinates and graph it just for extra practice. So R was in 0, -2, S, the coordinates switch places, and the one on the right changes, but it's 0, so keep it. T prime, -3 and 4 switch places, and 90-degree clockwise, the one on the right changes signs. 4, +3. Looks like everything's matching up so far for our answer, so that's good. Now U prime, the -3 and the 1 switch places, and the one on the right changes sign. So 1, 3, and that's what our answer choice says, so we're definitely correct. Now let's graph, just for extra practice. R prime is 0, -2. So 0 is the x coordinate, -2 is the y coordinate. There's R prime. S prime is the x coordinate of 4 and the y coordinate of 0, so that's here. T prime is +4x and +3y. U prime is +1, +3. And this is like a kind of a kite shape. Okay, so yeah, perfect. So this is a 90 degrees clockwise rotation, so each point went to the next quadrant. It only went one quadrant over. Perfect. Okay, 33. 180-degree rotation. Remember, for 180-degree rotation, the x and y do not swap places, but what they do is change signs on both numbers. So let's see, it's P, R, and Y. Okay, again, you can put your numbers if you want. I think it's good practice anyway. Okay, so P is -2 on the x, 3 on the y. R is 3 on the x, 2 on the y. Q, was that a Q or? Oh, guys, I think that's actually a Q. Yep, it's definitely a Q. Q is 0 on the x, 5 on the y. Okay, 180-degree rotation, both signs change. They do not swap places. So P prime, the -2 will become a +2, and the +3 will become a -3. For R, the 3 becomes -3, 2 becomes -2. And Q, 0 stays 0, 5 becomes negative. So P is supposed to be +2, -3. So the only one that matches up with is B, and then our Q, 0, -5, and our R, -3, -2. So that's the right answer, B. Now let's graph it. It's a 180-degree rotation, so it should be on the other side of the graph, right? So it should go 2 quadrants away. So R should go 1 quadrant, 2 quadrants, so somewhere over here. Let's graph it though. P prime is +2 on the x, -3 on the y. R prime is -3 on the x, -2 on the y. Q prime is 0 on the x, -5 on the y. Forgot my little prime. And then connect it. See how it looks. Perfect. Just like I thought. It's 180 degrees on the other side of the graph rotation. And like I was saying in ELT today, it's sometimes can be easy to mistake a 180-degree rotation for a reflection, because it does look like these points flipped over the x-axis. It does look like an x-axis reflection. But if you look closely, look at the letters. Do the R and the R match up? They don't. If this was a reflection, R would be here and R prime would be right here. They would be on the flip side of the x-axis, and P would be here, and then P prime would be down here. So you have to make sure, if they ask you a question like that, that you're looking closely at the letters and making sure that they match up for a reflection, because this is definitely a rotation. Okay, 34, last one. 278 degrees counterclockwise. So remember I said put two x's, x on 270, x on counterclockwise. We're changing it to 90, and counterclockwise goes to clockwise. So we're doing a 90 degrees clockwise rotation on this one. Okay, I'm going to put my coordinates here. Okay. Well, I guess I'll just put them all on there. Okay. The points, or the coordinates for W, V, and X. W is at -2 on the x-axis and -2 on the y-axis. V is at -3, -5. X is -1, -4. Okay. 90 degrees clockwise rotation, the X and Y switch places, and then you change the sign of the one on the right. W prime. These are the same number, so. Okay. Change places, and then the one on the right changes. Let's see which one that matches up to. -2, +2. Looks like it matches up with C. So let's see if the rest of them do. Okay, V, -3 and -5 switch places. And then the one on the right changes signs. Does that still match up with C? -5, 3? Yeah, it does. And then X prime, -4 and -1 switch places. And the -1 changes to a +1, which is C. Okay, let's graph it and then we'll be done. W prime is -2 on the X, +2 on the Y. V prime is -5 on the X, +3 on the Y. X prime is -4 on the X, +1 on the Y. So, like I said, 90-degree rotations. Wait, did we do this right? Yeah, this is 90 degrees clockwise. Yep. This is the way the clock moves. So this is a 90 degrees clockwise rotation, and it went from one quadrant to the very next one, so that's definitely 90. All right, guys. See you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night.